Today is going to be a quick video on solutions to quadratic equations through graphing. Solutions to any quadratic equation is where that function crosses the x-axis. And these solutions have other nicknames. You could say they're called roots, or zeros, or x-intercepts. Make sure when you write your final answer, for roots and zeros, write your final answer as x equals whatever the number is. For x-intercepts, or whenever I say intercepts, that's an ordered pair. So I want you to write it as the number, comma, 0. You can have a quadratic with two solutions. That looks like this. You can see that the quadratic passes through the x-axis twice. You can have a quadratic with one solution. That's when it passes through, basically just bounces off the x-axis one time. And then you can have a quadratic with no real solutions. That's when it does not, it can be a frowny face as well, but it does not pass through the x-axis at all. Now, when we solve these through graphing, all you got to do is you can make a table and plug in x's and y values, or you can take your calculator and plug it in. That's what we're going to do. And we are going to see what this graph looks like on the calculator. Look at our table. And then I'm going to show you a little trick to find the x-intercepts on the calculator. All right, let's look at number 1. And again, we're not going to do too much right now. Just basic showing how to use the calculator and everything. So on your calculator, move this to the side. I'm going to go to y equals, and I'm going to type in x squared plus 2x minus 3. Pause the video when you need to. And if I click graph, it's going to look like that. A 10 by 10 coordinate grid shows up. If your graph is not 10 by 10, press zoom 6, and it pops up using a 10 by 10 coordinate plane. I could kind of see where my x-intercepts are, like here and here. I could probably guess and say it looks like it's 1 and -3. I can confirm that by going second graph to the table. Let me erase these two dots. And on the table, I can see going up or down that, in fact, my x-intercepts are -3, 0, and 1, 0. Don't get it confused with 0, -3. That's the y-intercept. Again, we're only looking for the x-intercepts, aka solutions, aka roots. So it is 1, 0, and -3, 0. We can also plot points on our graph. Say here, here. It looks like the vertex is -1, comma, -4. Again, doing my best to try to make that as smooth of a curve as possible. And again, you could see that here are the solutions. Let's say you couldn't find where these two x-intercepts are and they were kind of like decimals. Here's what you would do. Again, pause the video when you need to. You would press second, and we want to press trace or calculate, and we're going to calculate the zeros. So press enter, and a little cursor pops up. What we're going to do is move it over. Again, you can only move this left or right, and we're going to move it, let's say, it says left bound. Let's go under the x-axis, and then now it says right bound, so we're going to move it above the x-axis, pressing enter. And then it says guess. I'm going to guess that the 0 is right here. Press enter a third time. And then it tells you your 0. This is useful when you don't want to go to the table or there is a decimal 0. If you press 0, calculate back to 0 again. Now let's go over and find this other 0. I'm going to go all the way around the parabola and start above, press enter, then go below the x-axis, press enter, then I'm going to guess where it is, pressing enter again. Perfect, -3. Here's a mistake that you might make. Second, calculate 0. Let's say you want to find this right 0, but you go above first, and then you press enter and then go below and press enter. Then you guess in the middle and you press enter. It's going to have an error message, error bound. What you did incorrectly is you went, let's go back to it. You went above first, pressed enter, and then you went below, but you should have went below, enter, and then above. So I make that mistake all the time, not sure where left bound is or right bound. But if you get the error message, just do the opposite of what you just did. And then press enter for the guess, and you should get your correct 0. Write down whatever questions you guys have on this. Again, short video, we're only going to do one example. If you want to do more, play around with the calculator, feel free to. Have a great night.